Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Suppression, sister, will sink you. It will fucking sink you if you don't allow yourself to feel the things you feel, to express the emotions that you have inside of you. When you say, I'm okay, and you put on the crazy smile, saying, I'm good, when you're not. You post your bullshit memes on Facebook when you're not feeling those things. Listen, I understand if you are working and trying and attempting to shift the way that you're feeling inside. That's okay, but the thing is, you gotta get that shit out. You have to fucking express it, experiencing it, speak it, tell it. Not keep it locked up in the box and thinking that if I just sit on this ticking time bomb, nobody will fucking know. If I just keep this to myself, it'll just go away. Reminds me of when I was in practice as a chiropractor. And when we'd see new patients would come in the office, and we would listen and ask questions and try to understand what's happening and try to understand what they want. And one of the questions we would ask them is, well, what have you tried so far? And sometimes the answer would come back, well, I saw another chiropractor before for my headaches and my migraines. I've tried massage, I've tried stretching, I go to yoga, I take these supplements. They might give a long list of things they've tried. And some people would say, I've tried nothing. And I go, really? Nothing? And it might be a scenario like this. Migraines for 30 years, so devastating they miss, a week of work every single week. Every single month. They miss a week every week. They're missing it. They miss a week of work every single month because of the intense pain. They're throwing up. They can't see. They've got aura, just crazy fucking shit. It affects their marriage. They've had to cancel vacations. It's fucked with their life. And I go, really? You've tried nothing? They go, yeah. I just thought they'd go away on their own. What that basically says to me is, I thought if I just ignored that shit, it would go away. So let me ask you a question then, sister. If you look in your car, so right now, my car is saying low fuel. And my car, it says it so nicely, mind remaining distance. Mind remaining distance. It's such a nice euphemism versus you're going to be out of gas soon, bitch. Mind remaining distance, right? Guess what else is coming up? It's so funny. It's got my car brought in for something else. It's saying brake pad worn. So I've got a vehicle that kind of gives you all these little alerts when things start to get low. Doesn't mean I have no brake pad, but it's saying, hey, brake pad worn, it's time to get that checked and replaced and whatever. Okay, cool. So I could ignore both of these things right now. Let's focus on just the mind remaining distance, right? Your gas is low, bitch. Go put gas in the tank. I could ignore that. I could put my hand over the message that's coming and flashing at me. I could take a magic marker and just fucking black that shit out. But the thing is there will still be low gas. If I ignore that, it'll happen where my car will not run. There will be zero gas left and I will not be able to drive my car. And I can think it's going to suddenly, be fine. The brake pad worn. Let's say the same thing. I could watch this thing for the next 3 months. I don't know. I've never had this thing come up before. I don't know if that means that, hey, it's good for another 3 months. Or you're going to start noticing that you brake soon. And it takes a little while for the car to slow down. It kind of sticks. Jesus, I remember a car I had an old Saab when I was in chiropractic college. I remember the brakes being so bad at one point. It was metal on metal. Shit was not good. I got a brake. And then with lots of distance because it would take that long to slow down my car. Because I was a broke-ass student. I'm I don't know what it's going to cost to fix it. It's just, even though it's an older Saab, it's just anything that was, had to be with a car like Saab, it just fucking costs more money. So I'm I'm just going to kind of ignore it. Well, guess what? I needed to get that shit fixed. It didn't go away on its own. I could not ignore it. I could, But the consequence was going to be, if I didn't get that shit fixed, that I was potentially going to be in a car accident. There would be a consequence to me ignoring shit, right? There's a consequence to that. Shit does not go away on its own. Your emotions and your feelings do not go away on your own. If you do not express that shit, that sedation will sink you. Because here's what happens. You take that anger, that sadness, that depression, that hurt, that hate, whatever that emotion is that's bottled up inside of you, and it has to come out at some point. So if you don't express it with the truth of what is happening, guess what? It ends up getting deflected with things like hate back, like anger, like resentment, like jealousy, like worthiness about yourself. But I'll tell you, for a lot of your sisters, this has been true for me, it comes out as anger. I lash out at other people. And guess who's closest to me? My husband and my kids. Just like with you, sister. Yep. And then you beat yourself up because you shouldn't be doing that, and it's not their fault, all because you were suppressing the shit that you were feeling. That suppression will sink you. So last night, had dinner with my husband, and there's some shit that came up. Yeah, there was some from an experience my husband had with Warrior and some stuff that he, cleaned up with me, and it triggered some stuff. It triggered a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize that I've been suppressing. No clue. And I got triggered by that. Not his fault, by the way. There's no blame towards it. I'm responsible for me. Which, by the way, is one of the things I have my kids say every day with their power words. I'm responsible for me. There's none of this like, well, you made me feel, and this is what you did to me. And no, that's fucking bullshit. So if you say that right now, stop that fucking shit, because no one is telling you to feel a certain way. You choose emotion. You choose it. However, in this instance, I got really fucking triggered. And suddenly, this floodgate of shit was coming out. And guess what? It was anger. And I unleashed a lot on my husband in the last couple of weeks. And he's been very patient. And he's listened. And last night, it was like, psh, enough. Enough. Suppression will sink you. You must feel this shit. And we went to war about some stuff last night, and it was uncomfortable, and it was painful, and it was okay. Because the result of that was realizing of like, you know what? You are fucking right. This is not okay for me to be treating you this way. This is not okay what I'm choosing. This is not okay the way that I'm showing up. As difficult as it was and still is, because it's kind of fresh off this, it was important for this to come out. It was important for him to express his feelings. It was important for me to listen. It was important for me to have this experience, to come to the realization that it's me. I'm responsible for me. I had chose to suppress a lot of that stuff. And listen, I can give you all the fucking stories. I don't want to bother you with stuff. I know you're feeling a lot of stuff in your body with Crohn's. I know you got a lot of stuff happening in your business. Like, it's almost like this thing, like we think that we're being the martyrs women. Like, let me just take that shit off your plate. I'm just going to take that shit and just sit on it. And suddenly, we're sitting on that fucking, like, throne of shit and emotions and feelings that we have not expressed. And then it just becomes like a fucking firing squad. Like just gotta let that shit out, right? You explode. Have you had that experience before, sister? Suddenly you just fucking unleash on your husband or your kids or your friend or coworker. You're like, what the hell? Where'd that come from? Jesus, scared myself. Fuck. It must come out. So here's your more tip for today. What are you suppressing right now? What emotion or feeling are you suppressing? Are you keeping bottled up that you need to share with that person? You need to share with yourself. You just need to write down in a journal something. You need to express that shit. You gotta let it out, sister. Because if you don't let it out and express the stuff that you're experiencing, you will start to turn it back to others, and you will start to turn it back into yourself. And guess what yourself it is? I'm a fucking bitch. I'm not worth it. I'm not enough. I'm not this. Beat yourself up with your 3 favorite hammers of blame, shame, and fucking guilt. And you just spin around and around and around and around and around and go nowhere. And 5 years from now, you can listen to this podcast and be like, fuck, I'm in the same place. I could have done something. So do this more tips, sister. Journal this. Where, right at the top of the page, where am I suppressing? What emotion am I suppressing in my life right now? So your journal is your sacred words, is your personal scriptures, one of my coaches used to say. I love that. It is a way for you to experience and become who you would like to be, not designed to be, not supposed to be, to become who you are. And it doesn't happen by spinning around in your head. It happens by you expressing, getting it out of your head and onto paper. And listen, I know you've been listening to the podcast for a while. You know I've been actually giving away free limited edition Women Want to More journals. So if you don't have yours yet, like, now's the fucking time. What the hell are you waiting for, sister? Right? What the hell are you waiting for? And I'm personally packaging up every single one. There's been, let me see, how many have I sent out? I think about 125 that I've sent out so far. I will continue this for a little bit of time, but it's going to be shut off in the near future. So now's your time. It is free. So here's how you go and get your journal. drkarenosborn.com/free journal. You just pay for the shipping. And there's some other little goodies I'm putting in. There's some special gifts for you too, sister. And a personal message from me. Because I love and appreciate you. Because I know how impactful that journaling and powerful that I can actually be. And I want you to have no more fucking excuse for not doing it, sister. So there you go. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.